I'm going to get to the main video in a moment, but I just wanted to give you a little background so you can know my perspective in doing this video, where I'm coming from. I suffered from pain in my feet for as long as I can remember, going back to early childhood. Anytime I would stand in place for a long period of time or go running or walk long distances, I would suffer excruciating pain. The truth is, I really didn't know where that pain was coming from or why I had pain. I just thought that's what happens to everybody. I didn't know that I had flat feet until college, when a girlfriend pointed out how flat my feet were. And to be fair, look, you don't normally look at people's feet, or I don't. When you do, they're usually wearing shoes and they're covered up. And even when they're not wearing shoes, unless somebody lifts their foot in the air or they're laying down, you really look at their arch, you're not going to notice anything. And so certainly, I didn't, and I didn't know that I had different feet from anybody else. These are not my feet. You're not going to see my feet today. That would be for a different channel, I think. Anyway, these are somebody else's feet, but these are an example of proper feet with a proper arch. Mine are the complete opposite. I have zero arch. And this is another picture illustrating somebody with a proper arch. If you look at the inner part of that foot, you'll see a curvature. That's because they have an arch, and that's the shape it makes when you have an arch. If I were to show my foot in the sand, you'd see the full flat foot. There would be zero curvature because I have zero arch. And everybody does have a different amount of arch. Some people are completely flat-footed. Some people have just less arch. Some people have the ideal amount. You become flat-footed when you're in childhood. Basically, your arch fails to develop. However, you can also develop it later in life due to wear and tear or through injury. And so for any of you out there that are experiencing pain, you're not really sure why, take a look at your feet. Maybe you've got a flat arch or flat foot. Most of you probably already know you have a flat foot, and that's why you're watching this video. So at some point I looked into orthotics, professional orthotics, and the range of reviews were so varying. 50% of the people said that it helped them and it's the greatest thing. The other 50% said they're useless and a complete waste of money, and orthotics can cost upwards of $400, and they are not covered by insurance. They're not reimbursed. And so it's quite a big commitment if you're not sure. And pretty much I went through the pain, and I endured pain until my early adult life. It wasn't until I got married, and at the nudging of my wife, who got tired of hearing me complain about the pain in my feet and not being able to take long walks like she likes to, and limiting our activities when we're on vacation, I capitulated and I started looking into over-the-counter orthotics, and that was very overwhelming. I looked online, and there was such a wide range of orthotics, and they all vary in terms of how much arch support they provide, how much cushioning, different sizes. It's just as hard as buying a shoe online. You have no idea what fits. I did, there was a model called Superfeet, or a brand called Superfeet, that got a lot of good reviews. I ended up trying on the Superfeet at a runner's store near me, but I found that, it didn't really make much of a difference. It didn't feel very different, and also one foot felt like it had a ball under it, which I later found out is actually normal to have that feeling in one foot. I'm not going to get into why. Superfeet are also $50 and up. I can't remember the exact cost, but again, I didn't want to start with the whole buying and returning, rather, not knowing if it would work. And so I had to look for alternative methods. I went down to the local pharmacy, and at the time, all they had was the Dr. Scholl's Tri-Comfort, and so that's what I went with at first. I gave it a good try. So this is the Dr. Scholl's Tri-Comfort model. You can see it's got quite a bit of cushioning here in the heel, and so when you first put it on, it'll give you a bit of relief. It also has a built-in arch support. It's a very thin piece of plastic. It's not very durable because over time, actually a very short period of time, it kind of breaks down, and you can see with not much effort at all, I'm able to collapse that piece of plastic, and that's supposed to be the main arch support. So really, after a week or two, it doesn't do much good except for the cushioning part. That does provide some relief. You'll notice the length of it is supposed to become about take about the length of 3/4 of your shoe. They do that so they can fit multiple sizes. I haven't personally, I didn't really give it much thought, but I don't know if putting an orthotic inside a motion control shoe, there are some sneakers that are designed for people with flat feet, if that actually helps or not, or negates the effect of the motion control technology. When I can, if the shoe fits, I do try to put the orthotic on top of the insole that it came with, but in many cases you'll have to remove the insole that came with your original shoe, otherwise your heel will slip right out. Now this is the CVS Advanced Gel Orthotic. Same shape, same kind of design. However, the big difference is that piece of plastic at the back. You'll notice it goes all the way, this is the difference. It's a much bigger piece of plastic. It's much thicker, you see that, versus built inside, like that. And it's much more rigid. I'm not able to really bend it with the same effort that I did with the Tri-Comfort. It also has a lot of cushion. You can actually see the gel cushion right here in the heel. And when you put this on and you start wearing it you're actually going to feel some pain in your arch, because your foot is basically, you're putting something underneath your flat foot, and you're going to feel it for the first week or two until your foot adjusts, but that's normal. I advise you to endure that pain and go through it, because over time this is going to provide some relief for your flat feet. It's going to provide some arch support. It's not going to help. It's not the cure-all. It's not the be-all. If I still walk, several miles, I will feel pain. But overall, I'd say this has helped me. For those of you that would, just have a little bit of flat-footedness, they're not completely flat, this should help a lot. And you can see, on the picture, this was only, I think, $11, $12, and CVS often gives you their 20% off or even 30% off their brand. For $8, compared to everything else, it's worth a try, even for that little bit of extra comfort, or to just, to be able to compare to a more expensive brand. I definitely think it's worth the money. Definitely think it's worth a try. And with CVS, they have a very good return policy. In theory, I think you could just return it if it didn't work for you. But hang in there for at least a week or two. As I said, you will feel some pain, but net, you're gonna feel better when you're just, mostly from walking. I wouldn't say standing, but walking, you'll feel some difference. Anyway, if you have any questions, please feel free to write them in the comments. I will respond as soon as possible. If you know anybody with who's suffering from foot pain, whether they know why or not, feel free to pass along the video. Good luck. Thank you.